And as you can see, your objective says today you will be able to solve absolute value equations with stuff. And I'm going to show you what that stuff is before we get started. A little compare and contrast with a couple different equations. So over here you're going to see without stuff, and over here you're going to see with stuff. And I just want you to think before I say anything, what is the stuff that Mr. Eckert is talking about? So take a look at the one on the left. Take a look at the one on the right. And as you can see, it's got this stuff, this minus 3 kind of hanging out over there. This one doesn't have it. This one does, and that makes them different. Okay, everything else is the same except for that. And let's look at the next one. I don't know why I chose 3 again. That was just a coincidence. But again, here's a normal absolute value equation, and here's some stuff. And think about, how is this 3 different than that one? This 3, how is it attached? Is it attached by addition, subtraction, multiplication, division? How is this 3 attached? And finally, our last one. Oops, that's supposed to be up here. Okay, so this one over here, no stuff. This one over here, the stuff attached is a -2. And again, how is that -2 attached? Looks to me like it's attached by multiplication. So we're going to take a look at each one of these. And you could just follow along by watching. You could, take notes if you want. Remember, you can pause at any time. So what we're saying here is the distance from Eckert's house of 2x is 4. And if you remember back to my house, you know that there's actually 2 houses that are 4 away. We would have 2x equals 4, but then we would also have 2x equals -4. Okay, and I would divide by 2. X equals 2. And I would divide by 2. X equals -2. And I'm not going to plug those in, okay? I am not going to plug those in. However, I'm going to show you that if I plugged this into here, it wouldn't work. Here we go. All right, so let's see. 2 times 2 is 4. 4 minus 3 is 1. Does not work. That is not equal. And the reason it doesn't work is because of the stuff. Okay, that stuff means we got to do some work. We need to get this by itself before we ever solve. We have to get it by itself. And so the way that I'm going to do that is, because this is -3, I'm just going to do the opposite. I'm going to do +3. And it's going to cancel. And I'm going to have the absolute value of 2x equals 7. So now, instead of looking at the houses that are 4 away from Eckert's house, we're looking at the houses that are 7 away. And we've got 2x equals 7 number lane. And we've got 2x equals -7 number lane. And now we solve. Okay? Divide by 2. Divide by 2. Let's check out. X equals 7 over 2. Divide by 2. Divide by 2. Check out. X equals -7 over 2. And there's our 2 answers. Okay? And I'm just going to plug one of them in just to kind of save time to show you that it works. All right, I got 2x minus 3 equals 4. 2 times 7 over 2 minus 3 equals 4. Well, let's see. 2 times 7 is 14 over 1 times 2 is 2 minus 3 equals 4. How far is that away from Eckert's house? That is 7 away from Eckert's house. Minus 3 equals 4. Does 7 minus 3 equal 4? Sure does. Okay. And believe me, the same thing would happen if you plugged this in. And you can try that on your own if you like. So let's look at the next one. All right. We've got x plus 6 equals 9. And we know that x plus 6 also equals negative 9. Okay? But over here we've got stuff. We've got to get rid of stuff. And the stuff we now have is the 3. And the 3 is not being added or subtracted. It's being multiplied. Okay? This 3 right here, this guy is being multiplied. And what's the opposite of multiplication? Division. So I'm going to divide everything by 3. Check out, check out. 9 divided by 3 is 3. Now I have x plus 6 equals 3. X plus 6 equals negative 3. And from this point forward, it should just be absolutely simple. Subtract 6. X equals negative 3. Subtract 6. X equals negative 9. So we have our two answers. Okay. Over here, there was no stuff, so we just started right away. Over here, we got rid of the stuff first. And we have to have our problem like this before we can actually move forward and solve it. We have to have the absolute value stuff by itself. Okay? Got to get rid of all the other stuff. And here's our last one, which is kind of tricky. So you look at this one, and the first thing I hope that you notice is that there's a negative over here. And once we notice that there's a negative, we say stop. No solution. But if there's some stuff over here, we may not be able to say no solution. Let me show you why. Negative 2 is being multiplied by the absolute value. So let's get rid of the stuff and see what happens. All right, so if it's being multiplied, that means I'm going to divide by negative 2. Divide by negative 2. These check out, and I've got the absolute value of negative 4x is equal to positive 8. Look at that. The stuff canceled out the negative. The stuff canceled out the negative. And now that it's a positive, I am able to solve it. So I got negative 4x equals 8 number lane. Negative 4x equals negative 8 number lane. And I go through and solve. Okay, so even though it started off as a no solution problem, once I had some stuff involved, the stuff got rid of the no solution. And now I am able to solve it. All right? So I'm going to show you your practice problems now. There's only 2 of them, but they are pretty challenging. Call or text if you have any questions, please. But if you want to go back and rewatch the lesson, you can always do that. Remember, you can pause. So we got 3x minus 5 plus 4 equals 31. And this one is especially difficult. Negative 5, absolute value, 3x minus 2 equals. So I'm just going to give you a hint over here. Think about which stuff we get rid of first. Okay, think about which stuff we get rid of first. So you got 2 problems. Number 2 is pretty challenging, but if you have any questions or anything, text me or call me. Hope you enjoyed the lesson, and there will be one more posted on Friday. All right, guys.